floor behind me, and we're ready to begin. My name is Ken. We are doing probably realistically 40 plus minutes of side split stretching, and we do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully make a bunch of progress towards our side split goals because the vibes are good, the people are good, and makes it a lot easier to do some hard stuff like stretching on the floor. Catherine says, "Hi, Ken. Thank you. Quick question. Okay, so the ligament or muscle behind my knee is really tight. When you say behind your knee, are you talking about right here behind the knee, like in the knee bow pit, or are you talking about like behind the kneecap, inner, like here on the inside, on the left side, or sorry, I'll just be very specific. Here, hey Lulu, behind inner. So we're talking about here where I started. Wow, it is so hard to point to. Here, yes. Okay. If that is really tight, is it? Let me try my best to pull up the pant so I can start flexing some muscles. Is it sort of these bigger lumps on the outside that are tight? Is it the soft fleshy part in the middle that feels tight? Where are you feeling the most tightness? Because there's two tendons over here, and then there's deeper tissue on the inside. I can't raise my toes in the half split. Okay, so your tendons are tight and they are feeling uncomfortable. If that's the case, I think you should probably take a day or two off, or especially on the hamstring stretches. You can't flex your toe. You were you the person who was struggling with the pointed toes, I think 2 days ago? I don't think those particular tendons on the outside have anything to do with your toes flexing up and down based on what I'm feeling, because that pulling up comes from this. Do you have really tight calves as well, perhaps? And you would, where else? Where else could that be coming from? Hmm. Anyways, if the back of your knee is feeling very tight, I recommend you go very slow and be very gentle with yourself. If there's anything that feels like is impacting your tendons even more, go ahead and stop and take a little bit of a rest break. I've watched some content about tendon repair. If it is your tendons that are struggling a little bit right now to adjust, then we probably went a little bit too hard. And tendons strengthen with, or at least one of the protocols I saw was you do a little bit to keep on stressing the tendon, not a crazy amount. And then you pause, take a break. So like over 10 minutes, you do 10 seconds every minute of stressing out the tendon a little bit. So maybe do a light stretch, maybe a decently intense stretch, and then waiting 8 hours and then doing it again. Apparently, that stimulates the most tendon growth and repair as far as said person knows. Okay. Ganowski says I might have to sit this session out. No. Are you okay? Are you also injured? Did I do something crazy the last couple of days where people are suddenly getting injured? Ooh. Tickle Me asks, hi, I'm new here. What is your content, if I may ask? We do live side split stretching every single day. We're a couple minutes in because we heard some people might be a little bit injured, hurt, swollen. some things, and I just want to make sure that we spend some time talking about self-care, because my goal is not to have you guys feel bad. It's the goal is really the opposite, to help you feel and move a little bit better. I'm doing some extra intense stuff on the side, but I'm trying not to bring too much of that energy into the daily lives because my goal is consistency. Ganowski says it's not the stretches. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Sailor Moon, you are not late to anything. You are here perfectly on time because I have not started a single thing. And um, Catherine says thank you. All right. Well, in that case, I think we're about to get started. Oh wow, my bedhead is not too bad because my hair is short, but that's looking big. All right. Last sip of water, last sip of coffee. Let's get into our hip cars. That wasn't really a sip, that was more like a chug. Okay, hip cars. We are moving those muscles, we're moving those hip and leg bones all over the place. Let's go ahead and get started. High knee, open, ankle, leg down and back. From the side, it's gonna look like this. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. You're bringing that knee up, opening it directly to the side, keeping it high, rotating the ankle so it is as high as the knee. Really contract the muscles here in the hip to help lift that leg up. Keep on rotating so the ankle keeps on coming up high into the air. Feel free to lean onto something for balance. And then finally bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel that stretch in the hip flexor. You want this knee in the bent leg to be behind the standing leg, and contract. All right, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're doing about 10. I'm gonna try to integrate the explanation into the middle of the exercise from now on, so I don't spend too much time starting the thing. And we're gonna give that a shot. All right, let's go. High knee, other side. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. Again, high knee. Open that hip as much as you can. Lift the knee as high as you can. Then once you're here, rotate that whole leg so that your ankle is as high as possible. Really rotate. Feel it in that hip. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Really pull that leg behind you. It's hard to focus on it because this legs never really go that far back. Like there's like 3 sports maybe where you do something like this, one of them being dance, and that's okay. I want you to focus on it when it happens. And this is 4, 5, 6. I want you to try your best to control the movement and try to be smooth. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to struggle with balance. You're going to struggle with the fine tuning of those muscles, trying to get them to do stuff. And that is all okay. But I want you to aim. I want you to aspire to having those hips move really well, and you're getting really strong in these hip cars. All right, so my glutes are firing and clenching really hard to help balance. But that is 10. And those are 10 hip cars on the left and 10 on the right. Let's shake it out for a second. I don't know why my left hip and my left glute is so tight right now. Okay, let's go in reverse. Get those hip cars done. Let's bring that leg back. Hamstrings, glutes, fire. Lift it up to the side. Like you're about to do a quick little kick. Don't actually kick anybody or kick random things. I hope your house is clear of stuff that you might accidentally send flying. Rotate that leg so that the ankle is down. Try to open up that hip as wide as possible and keep that knee high. It's a lot of things, even though this part looks really simple. And bring the leg forward. You might want to relax here. You feel like this last bit But really, why am I so off balance? I keep on trying to spin around and show you different angles, and I can't balance that off for the life of me. All right, keep that knee as high as you can. Let's go. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. I think that's 5, maybe more, probably more, but this would be 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Whew. All right, one last hip. Give yourself a little pound. Hope your hips are waking up. I hope your balancing muscles are firing a little bit. If they're firing a little too much, you can always take a break and hold on to something to give yourself a little bit of support. Whew. All right, 10 more. Let's go. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. I think that's 4, 5. Remember to breathe. Just because I don't do enough of it doesn't mean you should do so little of it. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Whew. All right, hip cars are done. That is our first warm up. I'm gonna scroll down. Check the chat. Seems like we are good. Does this help with knees popping? And we're moving so fast. Okay. Oof. I can't imagine that the hip cars helps with knees popping. There is a lot of activity going on related to the knee, and then you do put pressure on that knee, kind of sideways when you rotate the ankle up. So there's a little bit of knee activity, but I would imagine that your knee popping is probably coming from a bunch of stuff being tight and other bunch of stuff being a little bit loose in comparison. And so I don't think it would, at least not in a targeted way. Like if you did 300 days of this, maybe they would start balancing out. But because it's not so intentional, I don't think it would have a direct or a very clear direct effect on your knee popping. And I am sorry I started going a little fast for what? For black and tan. But don't worry, I spent so much time talking to the camera. You got plenty of time to catch up. All right. This is showing me how bad my balance is. That is true, and it's the standing hip cars are a little bit tough. The reason why I do the standing hip cars is because I want people to come in and be able to feel comfortable getting into something immediately. And if we start in sort of the hip cars on the ground like this is a totally valid, like this right here is the same move where we open up our hips as much as possible, right? We're lifting that leg out, maybe lift the knee as much as you can, and then we rotate the leg so the ankle is as high as possible, and then we bring the leg down and back, right? Like all those moves, that angle, at least, of the legs in relation to the hip is available in some other way. But I always felt like from day one that if we started there, people would be intimidated, be like, oh man, we're gonna be on the floor immediately. We spend a lot of time on the floor at this point, and people come in the middle all the time. So I don't know why I still do the hip cars standing up, but it is very challenging for your balance. And I don't know, maybe tomorrow we'll focus on a version where we do the hip cars from like a kneeling position. So high knee would be like this, and wide open and knee high would be like this. Rotating the leg would look like that, pointing your ankle directly into the air, and then, oh man, flexing the hamstring, flexing the glutes. Oh, part of the reason why I don't like to change exercises so much is because I'm trying to make it easy for you to get in, get out, feel good, and not have to keep learning a bunch of stuff every day. But it's definitely a slightly different exercise, and you start using different muscles because gravity is pulling on you from a different direction. Oh, and yes, my hair grows crazy fast. I need like I really seriously need a haircut pretty much every month, but um, to look like I'm not falling apart every every 2.5 weeks, I start looking pretty long. All right, that is most of the comments, I think. So I am ready to move on into our. I think we're. What did we just do? We just did hip curls. All right, elephant walks. If you're already burning, I hope our little break to talk to the chat gave you some time to relax. Elephant walks. We are basically getting to this L shape. We're just folding forward. If you're a little bit higher up, and this is your maximum fold at the moment, it's totally okay. As long as you're feeling some tension building in the hamstrings, you can bend your knees slightly if the back of your knee is a little bit sensitive right now. And you can focus on bringing your belly button down towards your thighs. Once you are as low and touchy in your thighs, then you can focus on straightening out your legs. If you don't have that issue, go ahead and straighten out your legs and try to bring your belly button down to your thighs. Or, if you want to imagine just bring it down to the ground, that works too. I like to imagine belly button to the thighs because I want you to kind of fold forward. And I want you to train that skill where people can like put their heads in between their legs when, you're standing like this. And when we practice the feeling of it, the next time you intentionally practice it, it'll feel a little bit more normal. Cool. All right. We're just chilling here for a second. Take some nice big deep breaths. Feel that hamstring tightening up. And breathe. All right, let's add in a little bit of movement. We're bending in one knee at a time. We're gonna do a little bit of twisting when one knee bends, and then I want you to start straightening it out a little bit more, reducing, twisting. I'm gonna face you so you can see what I mean by twisting. When I bend my left knee, I'm trying to bring my chest and my belly button down towards that knee. So my shoulders are going a little bit to the right. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I really want to feel that hamstring stretch, and I really want to feel it on both legs. What we're doing right now is getting into a position where the hamstrings are pretty tight already, and we're bending the knee to put some stress on it, to force the hamstring muscles to move. It sounds like the hamstring is one super big muscle, but it's actually made of 4 different pieces, and underneath your skin, underneath, your fat, before your bones, your muscles got a lot of different stuff that it's moving against, moving with, moving along. Ugh. And these little knee bends are just forcing us to get into that tight position and then make those muscles move when they're already a little tight. All right. Once you have done a little bit of this, you might feel like something is moving in the back of your legs. And that's exactly what we want. You might feel like some lumps are shifting, something is going on because of all the stuff in your legs are kind of grinding against each other because you have your end range of motion. And that is great. That is how we warm up. All right. That should be good for now. So let's add a little bit of twisting. Get our spine, get some shoulders, get some fingers working. And what I'm going to ask you to do is bend one knee, straighten the other leg. Take the opposite hand. So my left leg is bent. My right leg is straight. I'm taking my left hand, grabbing my right leg to help twist and open up my chest. I say twist, but I really mean just turn and look. Twist sounds more intense than I want you to take that piece of advice. Look at the fingers. Bring the arm behind you. So your neck is rotating, your upper back is rotating, your shoulders are firing to contract and point the arms behind you. Maybe you're really focused and your forearm is also all tense and your fingers are all tense trying to straighten them out. Whew. Go ahead and come back down. Do the same thing on the other side. Right leg is straight. Sorry, left leg is straight. Right leg, right leg. Let me start over. Left leg is straight. Right hand is grabbing that left leg, giving ourselves a nice push, helping to open up that chest to the left. Extend the left hand up into the sky. Look at those fingers. So your head is also rotating a little to the left. We're stretching out the whole upper half of that back. Contract those shoulder muscles. Bring the arm back. Push with your other hand. Really open up that chest and come back down. Whew. I forgot that we were going to start with cat cows today, but I guess we've already moved on way past that. Let's keep going. Twist, rotate, whatever you want to call it. We are getting that upper third of the back. So there's the thoracic spine moving and grooving, adding our shoulders, our arms in. And there's one final detail that I forgot to remind you about. We still want these to be really good for the hamstrings. So when you get into this position, you've rotated as much as you can. Exhale and try to feel that hamstring stretch. Bring your belly button down. It might twist your arms. It might not be perfect for your arms anymore, but that's okay. We're just adding a little bit more hamstring back in. So come to that nice full position and then try to bring that hamstring down right before you come back down. I have absolutely no idea how many of these we've done, but I think we're pretty close to 5. So let's move on. I hope you're sweating. Hope you're feeling like your whole body is warmed up. Maybe these shoulders are warmed up. Maybe the shoulder blades are warmed up. Maybe you've been contracting the muscles so that your back comes together like this when you're twisting backwards, and you're feeling the tension here in between your actual shoulder blades. That is all really good. All right, we had a whole bunch of people who follow. Trying to scroll back to see if there's any comments. Okay, take a breath. This is mostly me talking to myself. Take a breath and drink some water. Is it okay to jump in if you've already warmed up and started? Absolutely. The more warmed up you are, the more fun this will be. This will be just like more additional warm up. There's a question. Do you post the stretches on YouTube? I do. The account is the exact same name, at splits on the side, at being the at symbol, splits on the side. And you can find a recording of every single live on YouTube. If you want just a really super compact version of this workout, I think it is one of the pinned videos on my Instagram account. And you can go ahead and find that. It's also splits on the side. All the accounts are the same. And it is a very, very short follow along, and I don't do nearly as much explaining. So you can get right to business. Okay. I think I saw a quick compliment that said, "This is so sick. I love it." Awesome. Ooh, we have 30 viewers. Ooh, okay. Thank you, Sheena, for reminding me to check how many people are inside. We do 30, 40, 50 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little community, as you can see in the chat. And hopefully that means you can make a whole bunch of progress towards your side split goals. At the very least, you'll get a lot more hip mobility and you'll have fun doing it because splits don't happen instantaneously. It takes a lot of build up before you drop into your splits. So that sounds fun. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. If you're not sure yet, stick around. We got a lot more stretching to do. All right. And on YouTube, someone wrote, "I'm sore tonight." That makes sense. If it's your second time coming back, and it's the first time, yesterday was the first time trying a bunch of the stretches, the second day might be a little bit intense because your body has never done anything like it before. This is called delayed onset muscle soreness. Usually it takes a day. Mostly it hits on day 2 after your big attempt at something new. And it's just the first week struggles. Once you get past that, everything will start feeling a lot easier. You'll start feeling stronger and it will be great. Chandra says, cool. Sheena says, I love it here too. All right, let's continue. What did I even do? Have we just finished the elephant walks? Man, we've been really taking it nice and chill today. Let's get into warm-up exercise number 3, the Cossack switch. get into the Cossack. I'm going to get rid of that so it's not distracting in the background. And we are going to open up our hips, our feet, about 3 times the width of our hips. That was a horrible sentence. I started just mixing up words. Hips, legs. Spread them. Cool? All right. We're going to drop down to one side and try our best to focus on 3 things. We want to feel a little bit of pressure in the front of this ankle. We want to feel the Achilles tendon tightening up. We want to feel that calf stretch building. And we want to feel the pressure in this hip joint. All right. We're not doing anything here. We're just chilling at this part of the warm up. We're getting our body used to hitting this angle, right? And while we chill, I want you to notice that my knees are traveling in the same direction as my toes are pointing. I don't want your knees buckling in, and I don't want the opposite where your knees are going like way far out. If you can see, my feet are like arching up because they really don't even want to go in that direction. So I want you to plant your feet and keep your knees traveling the same direction as your toes. All right, we're back here. You didn't have to rotate around. I was demonstrating. On the other side, while we're waiting for this hip to relax and get a little bit more chill in this position, I want you to see the heel here is down, the toe is up, and the knees are pointing up. This is called external leg rotation. We use it to get part of the thigh bones from colliding into part of the hip bones in the side split, and it's super easy to teach it and demonstrate it right here when we're waiting in this position. But this half of my body is basically already in a side split position, all right? And that's how I want you to feel about the Cossack switch. It's half a side split and then some extra stretchy stuff. All right, we've hung out for a little bit here. Let's walk our hands and bring that butt over to the other side. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna feel that pressure in the front of the ankle. We're gonna feel that stretch in the Achilles, in the calves. We're gonna feel that pressure in the hip. If the hip pressure gets a little bit too much, you can put your elbows sort of on your thighs, relieve some of the pressure because you have to hold your back up. And maybe you're leaning really far forward right now and it's tough. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Again, we're just chilling here and giving yourself a little bit of time to get used to the position. On this side, your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are up. External leg rotation. I have less to say once we're on this side because I explained it all on the other side. So just chill in this position for like 4 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Now let's start shifting from side to side. This is called the Cossack switch. And I believe it's called switches because we switch from side to side. I don't think that's the exact reason why it's called a switch, but it's okay. This is how I'm going to talk about it from now on. So I want you to go from side to side. And I want you to spend time focused on getting into this deep position. And how you get from side to side is going to be determined by how strong you are, how flexible you are, all sorts of things. If you want to make it easy, you can put your hands down and slowly come over to the other side. If you want to make it really hard, you can try to stand up super straight, stick your arms in front of you, maybe hold a water bottle to help balance and go from side to side like that. If your knees are a little achy, you're a little uncomfortable being in this deep, intense position and then transitioning over to the other side, you can start by focusing on coming up a little bit, half a squat, a quarter of a squat, coming over, and then settling back down. Or if you're feeling really intense, you can come into a full squat and then come back down. Whatever it is that you decide to do, try a bunch of stuff, see what happens as you get more comfortable in the position. If you start with hands down and you're super warmed up and you're feeling really comfortable training this position, and you're moving pretty smoothly now, try something else. All right, that's it. This is the Cossack switch. We're just gonna go from side to side now. And I want you to pay attention to how you're feeling. You don't have to go fast because what we really care about is this side split position. And then as a bonus, you're doing a whole bunch of strengthening and some, kind of squatty work on the other leg. Whew. I have absolutely no idea how many we've done, but I've definitely done at least 10 rounds. So I think I'm ready to call it, but if you want to do a couple more, if you're starting to feel like you're in the groove, you're like able to rip these out and you're feeling really good about them, then this is a great place to be. But that also probably means you're fine, you're warmed up, you're ready to go. Cool? All right. That was tiring. That was a lot. I'm pretty sure I did close to 20 of those Cossack switches. So I feel like praying mantis. I need a break. That is so cool. As soon as you said praying mantis, I started thinking of like, is it Kung Fu Panda? Like immediately, like the visual shot into the back of my brain going, oh, that is sick. Take a quick break. We're about to move on into our stretches. All right. The first stretch is a hamstring stretch. Where's my pillow? I lost my cushion. We're gonna need a little bit of padding for our knee because it's we're gonna be like this. We're gonna drop down onto one knee and focus all our energy on one leg stretch. I got past the pillow. I don't have magic Jedi powers to pull pillows towards me. Somebody pass this to me, I promise. Okay. Once you've grabbed your cushion, and you've got a little bit of water or a lot of water. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to chug water that fast. But do as they say and not as I do. Okay. Let's continue. Hamstring stretches. I want you to sort of point your chest, point your hips all in one direction. And I want you to stick that leg out directly in front of you in that one direction. Cool. Next, we're going to fold forward. But I want to point out one thing about the hips right before we do that. A lot of people, when we're about to do this stretch, think we're trying to do like a side split. It's not what we're really doing. But they'll try to get into a like really long position like this and then focus on the hamstring stretch. That is totally fine if we were doing front split stretches. It's actually a totally fine version of the stretch. But what I want you to do is I want to get you to almost tuck your leg into your body instead of extending it out so that you can really focus on folding at the hips. The secret to getting really good at anything hamstring related is all in the hips. And I want you to make it easier on yourself to fold at the hips. When your leg comes all the way out over there, your hips start rotating, they start twisting, right? Like you can see much more of my body when I'm in this position. I want you to see just the side of your body so you can focus on folding forward and just that. All right. So once you have done that, you are tucked your leg back into that hip, folding forward, bring your belly button down to the thigh or bring your belly button down to the ground, whatever visual satisfies you. Your hamstrings are really tighten up. It's going to be really uncomfortable. And that's just how it goes. What I want you to do is take a nice big deep breath in, slowly exhale, and try to relax a little bit deeper into the stretch. Okay? Let's go. In. Exhale. Relax. Your hamstrings are getting tighter. Maybe you're really feeling the stretch in your calf now. As you're doing this, you can always bend your knee slightly if the back of your knee is starting to be uncomfortable, starting to hurt. And when that happens, you can focus on trying to bring your chest down to the knee first and then straightening the leg. All right. So here we are in this position. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Get deeper. All right. I want you to try your best to get into that sort of that relaxed feeling that you're tapping into when you exhale. And you know, you don't have to breathe as ridiculously as my breath might sound when I am exaggerating a little bit. But I want you to sort of try to relax and tap into that set of not using those muscles, if that makes sense. All right, we're here. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. I am currently keeping my leg bent so that for the people who have some knee issues, you can see how we can focus on this stretch a little bit without putting too much pressure on the knee. I hope it's helpful. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. But I realize if I keep my arms in front of my leg, it's hard to see anything. So I guess I'll tuck my arm behind me. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay, come on out of that hamstring stretch. If you do not have some knee discomfort, I want you to experiment with both the positions as well. Because you might think, oh man, this guy is super flexible. Look at like how low he can bring his chest to his knee. That hamstring stretch changes massively with the knee bent versus the knee straight. And don't know how much impact it has, go ahead and give it a try. All right, let's spin around to the other side. Hopefully that was enough time to relax a little bit. Ooh, just a couple seconds. Let's get into the next hamstring stretch. Again, sort of pull that leg into its hip socket, fold forward, feel this hamstring tightening up. Take a couple of nice big deep breaths in. Slowly exhale. Relax. One more in. Relax. And what your hamstrings are so tight. Let's start at 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. On this side, I'm straightening out my leg first, and so you can see the angle of my torso is completely different. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. And it's even more different if I really try to straighten out my low back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, almost done. 1, 0. Oh, okay. Hamstring stretch. Done. That cushion that you just grabbed, we only need it for that stretch. You can get rid of it now. Let's look at the chat real quick and then move right on into stretch number 2, the butterfly. Oh, we don't have anything to address. Okay, let's go right into the butterfly. I recommend you do this up against a wall, something that you can lean against and put pressure against, because that wall will help you push your legs into the open position that we want. I keep moving these blocks. So put your hips, your shoulder, your head up against the wall. Have that nice straight posture. Go, ooh, my back needs that after rounding so much doing the hamstring stretch just before. Now pull those legs in, pull the feet in, and you'll get into the butterfly position. I want you to focus on opening up your groin muscles, which is in this area over here. And the way you can do that is focusing on pointing these knees down into the ground. I don't know if pointing was the right verb for that. You're pulling your knees into the ground. And I want you to use your outer thigh muscles, your glutes, to help do that. All right. So start by contracting those outer thigh muscles, the glutes. Pull your legs down as low as possible first. You're going to feel that stretch building in your groin. And then I want you to take your hands and apply some pressure. When you start applying pressure, you'll feel the back of your head, the tops of your shoulders pushing into the wall. Might be a little bit uncomfortable. If you tuck your head, your shoulders will do more of the pushing. And that is basically the wall helping you work on the stretch. So it's going perfect. This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. All right, that's it. We're in position. Let's hold this for 30 seconds. Don't forget to breathe and keep contracting those glutes and outer thighs. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. You might have noticed that when we first got into this position, my knees were like really far off the ground. But because we have the wall, because we're able to apply pressure into the legs, my knees are pretty much really close to touching the ground. Right now, it's still the outside of like the leg muscles that are making contact, and then my pants are loose, so it might look like my knees are already touching, but they're still floating ever so slightly. But we can't get into that position without the wall helping us apply a little bit of pressure, and that's why the wall is super important. Whew, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Oh, let the hands go first. Your legs might feel like they're stuck in position because you're contracting them so hard and you're pushing them down so hard. So just give them a little wiggle, lift them with your hands for a second, and then suddenly they'll come back to life, just like maybe a real butterfly that is chilling there, and you're like, is it alive? And then it suddenly flies away. I don't know if you've ever touched a butterfly. Maybe the better example would be like random bugs that look like they're not moving. Catherine says, intense. I feel anger releasing. That would be so badass. Um, if you could just like control every single one of your emotions, be like, all right, I'm gonna do the butterfly, and that's gonna release some anger. I'm out of anger. That would be a really cool trick to master in life. But that is awesome. This is my sadness stretch. This is my happiness reflex. Ha, happiness. All right. What did we just do? We just did the butterfly. And that means we are 2 of our 5 stretches in. Let's get into the standing pancake. Standing pancake is going to be a little bit tough. It's a little challenging, but the main muscles that we're stretching are the adductors and the hamstrings. We just worked on the adductors because we were doing the butterfly, and we just worked on the hamstring a lot during the elephant walk, during the hamstring stretch. So we have been preparing this whole time to get into the standing pancake. Standing pancake in general looks like this. We're opening up our legs wide. Doesn't have to be super ridiculously wide. You don't have to get uncomfortable in the hips. If you're already uncomfortable, come up a little bit. You can squirm, or if you want to show off, you can just pull your legs together. And I want you to fold forward. This is basically the standing pancake. If it looks like I'm just sitting with my legs open and rotated 90 degrees, that is because that is basically what I'm doing. That same exact position I was in, if I was seated, would look like this, right? And this is how you usually see pancake stretches, people like really folding forward and looking super impressive because they're able to throw their whole entire chest over there. But for most people, especially if you have tight hamstrings, it's going to be really hard to get over there, me included. And I've been doing this for a long time. So the standing pancake is awesome because when we get into that same exact position, gravity is pulling on this entire upper body. It's pulling you into the ground. So you don't have to work as hard with your core. You don't have to like reach as far. You don't have to work as much just to get into the most basic version of the position. Gravity is helping you do that work. And gravity also makes it a lot easier to get into a more difficult position. I have nothing to demonstrate with, but if you take some baby weights and you stick them up above your head, gravity will make it a lot more intense for you. Cool? All right, so what do we cover? Legs are open, we're folding at the hips, we're in the standing pancake. If you want to feel a little bit safer, you can put your foot against the wall, just one, so that only one leg can slide out. That means you don't have to worry about 2 sides sliding at the same time. You can just focus on one. All right, from here, I want you to imagine the bottoms of your butts, that like pointy bone thing that's the bottom of your pelvis, your hips. I want you to imagine them almost pointing up into the air. The reason why I want you to imagine that is because you probably can't do it, but that is the position we want to get into. The more folded forward we are, the more our hips are going to shift forward, and the bottoms of those bones are going to start pointing up higher into the air. So that's the visual. You're pointing your butt real high into the sky. That's it. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. And I guess you can imagine also bring your belly button to the ground, bring your chest to the ground, because that's the other half of this straight line. where your butt goes up into the sky. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. You can stick your arms above your head to make this way more intense. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Put those hands down. Help yourself out of that position. And we're done with standing pancake. Like I said, everything that we did prior to this should have helped prepare us to get into a better, more intense standing pancake. And we just put ourselves through a whole bunch of suffering because the pancake is real hard. Luckily, the next stretch is not nearly as bad and you get to chill a little bit more. It is called the pigeon and the figure 4. I'm going to scroll up real quick. A beautiful message. Looking forward to catching the next live. Have a good evening, everyone. I know we've been running a bit behind, so I appreciate you here and I appreciate you looking forward to coming back because we will be here tomorrow. All right. I think that is all for the chat. Ken, you are awesome. The burn feels amazing right now. Amazing. Lovely. Thank you. It's funny because in my head, this is like very different from a really like high rep burn workout. So in my head, I don't think of it as burning in that sense. But thank you for reminding me that it is a workout. All right, where are we at? Figure 4 pigeon stretch. I think yesterday we did the figure 4, so let's talk about pigeon today. If you've done a little bit of yoga, if you've watched some side split stretching videos at any time, you'll probably have seen a version of the pigeon. And if that's the case, the only thing I want you to really focus on is bring the middle of your chest to sort of the midpoint in between that leg that's going across your body. All right. So this bone between the knee and the ankle, sort of pick a halfway point and then pick your chest's midpoint, right, in between your pecs. And I want you to bring that down towards the leg. I want you to push that ankle away from you. Try to get that to be perpendicular to your body, so it's 90 degrees across that way. And that's it. That's the main stretch. Because what we really want to focus on is this outer glute, hip area. I combined glute and hip into one word, gloop. And that's the core of the stretch. If you're really into technical details, a great pigeon stretch would have this leg back and extended. Be feeling a little bit of a stretch in the front hip flexor as well. If you can get into it, perfect. Go ahead and do that. If you can't, if that's a little difficult for you, you can try to focus on a version where you're basically just lying down and straight down the whole time. You're never really up like this because then that removes some of the stretch in the hip flexor. So if you just stay low the whole time, maybe you'll be able to get into it and get a little bit of that stretch here. But realistically, for our purposes, it's not that important that you're stretching out this muscle over here, right? So if this leg is bent, it's totally fine. Because the goal, what we want in this outer hip, happens all on this leg. And you can get into it just fine. Cool. And if this is your first time joining and you really don't like the pigeon, you don't feel comfortable getting into it, tomorrow when we do the figure 4, you'll realize there's a version of the stretch where we don't even worry about this leg at all. And I'll go into more detail about it tomorrow because I don't want to take up too much more time explaining. Cool. All right, pigeon. We are here. Back leg is behind you. If you can do it, we want to bring the knee and ankle across the body, midpoint of the chest, midpoint of that leg bone. If you have really long legs, they'll be slightly different, but aim for that to start. And bring the chest down, but keep the hips low. If your hips come real high and your head is like basically bowing into the ground, then you've overdone it. You want to keep the hips low and then fold your chest down towards that leg. All right. I think that is a ton of detail 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on back up out of that stretch. You did it right. Just feel it in that glute, in that outer hip area that I keep on touching. Um, let's swing on over and get the other side done. Same thing. Ooh. Cross that leg across your body. Aim for the midpoint, chest to the midpoint of the leg. If you have really long legs, it might be a little bit more that way, a little bit less that way. That's okay. And keep your hips low. Fold your chest down after. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. Remember to breathe. 25, 24. Feel those. Imagine relaxing the muscles. That's like doing less work, not more work. So it's hard to imagine doing less work, I think. Just breathe, relax, feel those muscles stretching out. It might feel a bit intense. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Come on out of that stretch. I hope your hips are feeling good. I hope you got a second to relax there and see how just trying your best to chill out will just make the stretch feel so much better. And I want you to try to do the same thing in the side splits right now, because that will help you get into a more intense and deeper side split stretch. All right, let's do the side splits. We have done all of this warm up, all of this stretching to pre-stretch all of the muscles that we're going to use in the side splits. We're going to stretch them more intensely than we use them kind of in the side split, at least like this part right here that we just did in the pigeon. And that is because when we do the side splits, we want to be the most prepared that we can be to make the most out of those side splits. So the way the next couple of minutes is going to work is we're going to do 3 rounds of side splits because this is the side split series, right? Everything else is good and awesome for our hips, but we're preparing for the side splits. So that's coming up. Before we do that, let's talk safety. And I'm going to scroll the chat real quick. Here's only one. Welcome back. I definitely can feel that one. Yes, yes. The pigeon is really good. For the same reason that I like doing the standing pancake. Gravity really stretches out those like outer butt hip muscles. Esle gives a whole bunch of thumbs up. Welcome. Oh, there's a whole bunch of people on right now on YouTube. So I'm going to give a quick spiel. We do 40, 50, 60-ish minutes of live side split stretching every single day to build consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully make this whole thing a little bit more fun so that we can suffer on the floor together, sharing good vibes, hang out with other people in the chat who are working towards the same goals. A lot more fun, a lot more useful. One of my earbuds just died, and it just gave me a sad little depressing sound. So we put in the other one and see if that works to revive the audio on YouTube. Okay, we are about to get started right now. Let's talk safe. You're getting really close to this wall. We've already used it. Got very intimate and friendly with it. We're doing the butterfly stretch. But now, while we're doing the side split, when you get to that deep position, you start going forward, you easy enough to catch yourself with your hands, go forward. When you start going backwards, Oh my gosh. If you have the wall behind you, then your shoulder hits the wall, maybe your butt hits the wall first, as long as the back of your head is not hitting the wall. And the wall hits you, then you're good. You're fine. Everything's A-okay. The reason why I was leaned over so far is because I have a door over here that I have slammed my shoulder into in the past, and I didn't want to do that. So I don't think you'll actually fall like this. That would be kind of crazy. Okay, now we talk safety. Actually, one more thing. So, how close should you be to the wall? I recommend one step in front of it, so 8 to 12 inches for most people. And that should be enough so that if you want, you just stick your butt against the wall. Like, cool. From here, once you open up those legs, we're actually doing size of this now. I know, long tangent, but it's about safe. Open up those legs, nice and wide. I think my YouTube earbud, unfortunately, is still, now we're gonna still. Get rid of this one altogether. I have a lot of earbuds. YouTube is telling me the sound is not clear. Give me a second. I'm going to swap out earbuds. Is it better now? Progress update. Progress update. Progress update. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. Okay. We're going to continue anyway. All right, back in the side splits. If you've been holding this for a really long time, I'm really proud of you. That's awesome. If you were like any other reasonable human being, decided to, Ken's not even over here doing a stretch anymore, I'm going to chill. That was very wise, because who knows how long I'd be gone for. All right, open up those legs nice and wide until it's almost uncomfortable in your hips. Then I want you to fold forward, put your hands down, like you're about to do a little bit of a push-up. This might look and feel very similar to how we set up for the pancake, and that is absolutely correct. What I want you to do from here, though, is going to be a little bit different. I want you to put some of that weight in your body into your arms. And that'll make it easier for your legs to externally rotate. If you've been here since the Cossack switches in the warm-up, you'll know that we want to put our heels down, point our toes up, and point our knees up into the sky. So heels down, toes up, knees up on both sides. All right? And that will move your thigh bone out of the way of your hip bones and allow you to get slightly deeper into the stretch and allow you to eventually get into the side split. So now that we have externally rotated our legs, you can walk your hands back towards your hips. This can take some of the weight that we put away into our arms over there and put it right back into your legs. That pressure will make this side split way more intense. And unfortunately, that is the goal. So once you're here, we're almost done setting up. We're gonna do a little wiggle from side to side to see if it's just a little bit of friction holding our feet back. And once you can't move anymore, it's time to start our 30 seconds of stretching. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. You might notice that I'm shifting and rotating forwards and back, and you can do that as well to change how the tension is hitting your legs, hitting your hips. We're keeping that same angle, we're keeping that same position, but we can shift and bring our butt further forward or further back. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, crawl your hands forward. Pull your legs in. Oh, take a little break. Relax. Kneel here for a second if you need to. Breathe. And let's come back into standing and shake it all out. I'm going to swipe across the screen on TikTok real quick because TikTok wants me to confirm I am not a robot and I need to figure out how to put a puzzle piece into the picture. And that is done. So let's shake it out. We're trying to undo some of the tension that we just put our body through. All that stop going into side splits energy. We're trying to relax it out. So we're going to do that by shaking, by flopping, by noodling, by wiggling, and relax the leg. you'll know it's a little bit more relaxed when it's sort of just moving around and it's moving well and it's sort of floppy and loose. Because if it was tight, then you'd be like a robot, you'd be like. So check out those legs. You can do the arms as well because they were working hard to hold you up. But the legs is what we care the most about. So if you want to just focus on one thing or you want to hold on to something for balance while you focus on your legs, go ahead and do that. All right, we're going to do a couple of checks to make sure all the joints that we are using in the lower body and putting a lot of stress on still feel okay. And that looks a little bit like this. We're going to do some hip circles real quick. You don't have to do that many, just one or two. We're going to do some high knees. That feels good. You can keep moving on. We'll do a tiny mini squat to put a little pressure into our knees, put a little bit of pressure into our ankles, come up onto those toes, just to make sure everything down here is more or less working, right? And with that, we're done with the first round of side splits. We got 2 more rounds. I'm gonna come over, check the chat real quick, because we had some slidey puzzle things. Xylomoon says that was, oh, I don't know what I just did. I accidentally invited you to the chat. Hi, welcome. I'm gonna kick you off, I think, but that was totally an accident. Sorry about that. Match invite. I don't know what's going on. Huh. This is hilarious. Awesome. Welcome to the live. Thank you for spending time here. And I am really not sure how to end this function, but it's good to meet you. It says match invite, accept or decline. I'm gonna decline that. That is, oh, you think I can just swipe away? Nope, that is not, oh, I got some random thing pop up. Huh, I am not done stretching. I have somehow accidentally tapped something on my screen to cause a crazy thing to happen on TikTok, and I don't know how to undo what I just started. I'm tapping all over the screen. I'm looking for buttons, but I'm not finding anything. Huh. Maybe it's in the settings. Maybe it's a multi-guest. No, I can invite even more people in, but I cannot uninvite people. I don't know what is going on. This is crazy. Okay. This is super hilarious. Okay, I'll just hit accept. I don't know what. Oh no, now we're having a fight. Now we're playing games. I'm super lost. If you guys are TikTok experts, then what are we doing? Are we tapping? I'm so confused. I think I've been hijacked, guys. What has even happened? I'm glad this is really entertaining for you, Kanowski. This is awesome. All right. All right. Zyla says we're gonna ride this out and just keep going. Fantastic. All right. I'm sorry, buddy. We're gonna go do some more side splits. So you're just gonna have to hang out here for as long as you want to. Let's do some side splits. On YouTube, we got a whole bunch of comments from Teja. Sorry, Teja. I want to do some more side splits before we cool off and wrap up, but I'll address your comments in a little bit. All right, let's do some side splits. I hope you're not totally cooled off, but at least you're laughing, right? Like good vibes, good energy. Because I have no idea how that happened. I don't know what I pressed. It was not intentional. I swear, I was just scrolling through the chat, and all of a sudden, we got a guest. Okay, let's get back into the side splits. Remember, stay close to that wall, 8 to 12 inches. I don't know why I'm holding blocks. I think I'm just so flustered that I want to grab things and just like fumble around and play with something. But I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna chill out, and let's get back into some side splits. Open up those legs, nice and wide. Fold at the hips. Put your hands down so that you are shifting some of that weight into your hands. Externally rotate the legs. What that means is your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are up, and see if you can just drop a little bit deeper into the side split, because that would be incredible. That'd be awesome. Walk the hands back towards your hips. Put a little bit more weight from your body right above your legs so you get even more pressure. And then let's do a little wiggle from side to side. And we're here. We're done. This is it. We're as far as we're going to go. Let's start at 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Oh my gosh. Pull your legs in, crawl your arms forward, come back into that kneeling position for a second, and shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop around, relax, loosen. It's a lot weirder to say shake, relax, loosen when there's like another face like staring back at me on my own phone. I know it looks a little bit ridiculous. So flop around, shake, and yeah, just deep down, I know that other people are watching me shake and look kind of goofy, right? But when there's a face staring right back at me, it's like takes it up to a whole nother level, and I can't help smiling because I'm a little embarrassed. Okay, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 flop. When your legs are starting to feel a little bit more normal, then let's get into some quick checks. Hip circles, high knees, do some mini squats. Feel that pressure in the knee, in the ankle, on those toesies. And once you've checked all those joints, everything feels more or less okay. Then we're going to go back to shaking, relaxing. We want to get as loose as possible before a third and final round of side split. I swear, this must be a recording, right? Like, this has got to be the most strange interaction for a non-recording. Like, how does this work? Okay, I'm going to come back, check the chat real quick, because I'm sure this is going to be absolutely hilarious in here at this point. Let's see. Xylem Moon says maybe he can learn too. See, that would be incredible, but it's clear that he's not. And that is the part that makes me sad. If we were all doing it together, then it'd be freaking amazing. It'd be so cool. But it's the opposite of that. The number of determines he's inviting me to another match thing, and I'm gonna just pass on that and decline and get back into our side splits so we can wrap up. Okay. Whew. The battle probably makes his audience feel more real. Yeah, it's true. It's probably what's going on. All right. I appreciate all the good vibes. Ken, I should dance. Oh, Ken, you should dance. That's hilarious. I've looked for options. I really cannot find anything. Like, the only thing that happens when I click his face. Oh, hey, he left. Wow, look at that. He realized that I was not being a team player and not letting him do battle, so he decided to leave. I wonder how that happened. What? I still have no idea how you even. How did I give permission for that to happen? That's crazy. That would probably be one of the most wild experiences ever, and I'm gonna remember it so well. Ah, okay, we got one more side split to do. Sheena, thank you for staying on for our crazy, crazy interlude. I hope to see you tomorrow. Sleep well. Good night. And for the rest of us, let's get back into side split number 3 and wrap up for the evening. Okay. Once again, let's get close to that wall. Get comfortable with our best friend, the wall. Each 12 inches, and let's set up the side split. Open up those legs, nice and wide. Does not have to be uncomfortable in the hips. Fold forward, put your hands down, like you're doing a little bit of a push-up. We're not actually doing push-ups, we're just taking some pressure off our legs so that we can externally rotate, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are up. Again, heels are down, toes are up, and knees are up on both sides. From here, I want you to slowly, gently open up those legs, see if you can get deeper into the stretch. Walk your hands back towards your hips. That'll put more of that body weight that you pushed away in front of you right back over your hips. A lot of it will still be in your arms. So try to bend your elbows a little bit, and more of it will go into your legs. Give that a try right now. And finally, let's do a little wiggle from side to side. Break that last little bit of friction. And once you are as deep as you can get, it's time. 30 seconds. 30. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. Remember to breathe. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Crawl your hands forward, pull the legs in behind you. We're done. That's it. Let's do a couple of shakes and wiggles and noodles. We're going from robots to, oh man, what was the comment? I think robots to noodles, and loosening everything up. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Flop it around. Noodles. Wet noodles, I guess, because actual noodles would probably snap into 15 pieces if you went and shook it like this. Wet noodles, soggy noodles. Ramen you've forgotten in the pot for a little bit too long. Cup of noodles that you set up and left behind and no longer want to eat. Let's finish off that shake. Add a little bit of movement. Stanky leg. Rotate a little bit at the hips. And once your legs are feeling pretty good, let's do our last round of checks. Hip circles. High knees. If anything feels uncomfortable, anything feels weird, go ahead and give it some extra time, some extra love. But if it feels fine, then we're ready to move on. Do a mini squat. Put some pressure in the knees. Put some pressure in the ankles. My left ankle feels almost a little bit weird, but it's not like that strange. So I'm going to just do some ankle rotations. And seems fine. Yeah, okay, cool. Come up onto those toes. Check your balance. And whoa. Once all those things are done, we are officially done. Thank you for joining me on this eventful live where we had guests from who knows where doing his own live show. It has completely nothing to do with us. And this is a crazy function that I can accidentally just tap something in the chat area, like this tiny third of the screen, and give permission for him to hang out with us. So I need to sit down and learn some TikTok, is what that means. Definitely ramen now. Yup. Soggy ramen might be the next thing I officially name those wiggles. Yeah, because ramen has a like bounce to it. It's like okay. Anyways, Ganowski says, "I'm so glad I was here for the entire thing. I always come in too late. It's been great, Zalamoon. I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you for contributing to the chat. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for creating good vibes with everybody, and I really appreciate it." Elisa Lee says, "Can you," or asks a question, "can you also do the front split?" I cannot do the front split, but I can potentially add it to the workflow at some point. That can definitely happen. I'm trying to focus on one thing at a time, and for better or for worse, because when you add in the front split, there's some other stretches that we need to also work on. So it adds at least 2 stretches to the whole thing. And as you might imagine, we've been running for like 75 plus minutes already as it is. But 75 really fun minutes with good vibes, guests who challenge us to tapping battles or something. And I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it as compact as possible so that we can get into a really good version of the stretch. But at some point, hopefully one day, I'll finish getting the side split, and then maybe at that point we'll start adding in more side splits, or maybe something completely different. Maybe we'll do like front split days and side split days, so you have a little bit of a break in between, and you can focus on both at the same time. Okay. Bryce says, "Great live." Thank you, Bryce. Bryce, I think I just saw again that you sent me a message. I'm gonna respond to that at some point. I promise. Catherine says, "Check your settings." Yeah, I really need to go into there and figure out what's up. Tyler says, "Hi." Hey, Tyler. Welcome. Welcome back, I think. All right. We got a couple people live on the chat still and on the TikTok live. If you somehow are just joining in super last second, we just finished like 70 plus minutes of hanging out, doing side split stretching together, having fun, sharing good vibes, getting people excited for their evening, mostly because just crazy things are happening. And thank you for being, for everybody who's been here for basically the whole entire life. Thank you for being a part of that hilarious multi-guest portion of the life. And I really thought he would get tired and be like, nothing is happening. We're not doing anything. He's like stretching. I'm just on my chair looking at my phone. And he'd be like, this is boring. I'm out of here. But he sent me like 4 invites to do battle. And the first 3, I was like, I have no idea what this means. But maybe that's like his way of like leaving the chat. So I hit decline for the first 2. And then I was like, all right, I'll hit accept. And it turned into a battle. I was like, wait, this is such a cool function. Just not at all what I'm trying to do right now. So I appreciate you all for being here and winning that battle by like 90% margins. I appreciate it. I appreciate the community. I appreciate the good vibes, and I appreciate how chill everybody was about that. Cool. I hope you feel proud. I hope you got a good workout in. I hope you feel good, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Zyla says, "It's been amazing. I can't wait to come to the next one. Thank you for all you do." Sorry, I'm wearing a white shirt, so the text is like really hard to read. If I just get out of my own camera, I'll be able to read a little bit better. Nope, nope. Lulu says, "Thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of the day." Awesome. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bryce says, "I will be there. I'll be there." Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to break out into song. All right. I think that is it. We have wrapped up. The chat has officially chilled out. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'll see you tomorrow. Bo-do-do-do.